Ya.
Bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris ya Pak?
Boleh bebas.
Bebas saja. Pak, I'm Indonesian citizens, Jakarta citizens, born
Apa?
there, grew up there,
Where's about citizen?
Jakarta.
Oh ya.
Yeah, and I just want to extend my gratitude for your leadership, 2017, 2022. I was there as well, experienced leadership. I was elected as a delegate of Jakarta when I was in 2017. I was elected as the delegate of Jakarta in 2017 for, if you know, the Ship for Southeast Asian and Japan Industry Program, or the Kapal Pemuda ASEAN dan Jepang.
Okay.
So pretty proud of it, and I was happy when you were selected, and when you were elected as the governor of Jakarta. I'm also in urban planning in UIC. So yeah, I mean, we took a look of many policies, many programs that have been made for Jakarta government, and I like that you mentioned transparency. I like that you mentioned that when we start our leadership, then we should start from research. We should start from study of the policy. But then nowadays, a lot of my friends in, let's say, in Bapenas, they are part of the system, they are part of the hierarchy, and although they are currently young urban planners, they are facing, I would say, the systemical issues, or maybe the hierarchical issues. What is your message to young urban planners there to develop Jakarta, to make Jakarta better, or maybe even like branch out more than just Jakarta? I mean, it's like a decentralizations to the regions and the rural areas. So yeah, I would like to hear your perspective on it.
For the urban planner. Your name again?
Ryan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Vibes. Thank you for spending your time to be here. I believe we all agree we are so grateful to have you here.
Thank you.
So it's our honor. My name is Rocky.
Rocky.
Without Gerung. Yeah, I graduated from Cornell University 2022. I moved from New York to Chicago because I got a job here. And right now, I have three interesting questions for you. First one, what is your opinion when I give you a fact that Indonesia is the country that has Muslim population in the world? But whenever you go, when you go to the mosque, you go to somewhere, pray, it's very difficult to find Indonesian in that mosque as an imam. It's always maybe from Middle East, maybe from India, from Pakistan. So what's your opinion about that? Having Muslim populasi Indonesia itu paling banyak Pak di dunia. Tapi kenapa susah sekali ada representasi Indonesia di banyak negara Muslim? Itu karena my experience when I go to mosque, people will say, "Are you Malaysian?" So I don't know. It is very different. The second one, I don't know if you are going to run for next presidential election, but I'm seeing the phenomena right now. Ada dua program Indonesia yang sekarang itu sangat menyentuh grassroots. Dua program itu akan sangat sulit dihentikan atau diintervensi, karena itu sangat menyentuh MBG dan Kopdes. Dua-duanya itu kalau diintervensi mungkin itu akan terlalu banyak orang yang sudah terlibat di dalam sana. Gitu. Menurut Bapak bagaimana? Apa pendapat Bapak tentang itu? Okay. Last one. What do you think about Zofran Hamdani? I see him in you, so I would like to have your opinion about Zofran. Thank you.
Thank you, Rocky.
Assalamualaikum Assalamualaikum Bapak, perkenalkan, my name is Istifada. I'm a master student in School of Education in Bidang Medicine.
Panggilannya apa?
Father. Yes, I'm from Kabupaten Malang, a very rural area in Jawa Timur. Yes, you're right. And given to the question of Mbak Dea or Mbak Dila, it's been really concerning that, well, I don't know how to start this question. But nowadays, I am taking curriculum and global studies major, Bapak. I was learning democratic education with Michael W. Apple. Jika Bapak pernah dengar, he is an educator and also a theorist and also an activist of education in the United States and the leader of Teachers Union at the time in the United States. And I was talking with him about democratic education and I was talking about the education problem. Bapak, I used to be also a honorer teacher yang gajinya kurang dari 1 juta, yang mana it is very devastating to see teacher nowadays. Bagaimana I am very very sad that I cannot do anything as a teacher in here. Like I learned many things in here, but I cannot do anything to my fellow teacher in Indonesia about how to raise their teacher welfare dan lain sebagainya. So my big question now is, there are two main questions. The first one is, I want to learn. I don't want to know. I don't want to only know, but I want to learn your thought about how we as a teacher can voice our voices to raise the teacher welfare. That's the first thing. And then the second one is, Bapak sebagai, what is it, like a government, like you have like a, Bapak punya political, punya pengaruh yang sangat luar biasa di Indonesia, terutama di bidang pendidikan. Bagaimana Bapak, is it still possible to raise up the teacher welfare in Indonesia? Is it like with the APBN currently? Like how do you think to raise the teacher welfare in Indonesia? That's very very concerning. And
Yeah.
thank you so much. That's my question, Bapak.
Me to speak in bahasa ya for a minute ya, saya speak bahasa. Begini, pertama tentang teachers salary. Jadi, Fada, ketika Fada tanya, saya bertanya, bagaimana, how can teachers voice their concern about welfare? Second questions, is it doable to actually improve the salary of our teachers? The second answer is yes. The money is there. It's about prioritizing. Ini bukan soal uangnya ada nggak ada. It's about the priority. If government put teachers' welfare as a priority, just like MPG, just like Koperasi Desa, the fund will be available. Okay? Yes, we need to improve our revenue. Tapi uangnya ada. Di Jakarta, gaji guru itu besar. Besar. Apa sih konsekuensinya kalau gaji guru besar itu? Bukan. Nih kalau gubernur datang ketemu guru itu percaya diri. Gubernurnya itu percaya diri dan bilang, do this, do that. You're not good in that. You need to move to improvement. I have every confidence to say that. Why? We have given you good pay. We have fulfilled our responsibility. And on behalf of parents, we demand better teaching, better guidance from teachers. You can do that. But if, kalau enggak, when I talk about it, immediately Bapak Ibu Guru akan bilang, Pak, sebentar Pak. Sebelum Bapak nuntut kami macam-macam, kami ini nggak cukup gajinya Pak. Gitu. Then conversation ended immediately. Selesai. Kita bicara tentang kompetensi guru, kreativitas guru, inspirasi. Berhenti. Kenapa? Yang mau nuntut aja malu. Betul nggak coba? Ini bisa. Jadi ini saya ngalamin dari dua sisi nih. Bahwa kalau mau melakukan improvement, maka beresin itu. Nggak layak itu. Nggak layak. Dan harus, dan itu bisa. Now, sisi lain, ada juga mereka-mereka yang berada di dalam sistem yang secara kompetensi Fada pasti merasakan pada kan nggak semua guru kompeten punya tinggi bukan? Itu harus diberesin juga. We need to also fix that problems. Bahwa in the past there were so many teachers recruitment that they did not consider merit in the process. Therefore kita punya masalah itu, gitu ya. Jadi bisa dikerjakan, tapi perlu komitmen. Kemudian yang kedua, pesan Pak Brian, message to urban planner. Kalau boleh saya pesan pada urban planners, city is about people. City is never about building. You can have the building intact, but if the people living that city, it is called a dead city. So what makes a city alive is the people. So in every planning you're making, let's put people first. And cities is actually talking to its resident. The language of that city talking is called policy. So the policy will say, we treated everyone equal or we treated everyone unequal. So put that equality of treatment from city to its resident as a first priority. Equality. And translate that into various different planning. Because equality is important. Let me give you an example. When I manage Jakarta, I put that as a key values. Our park departments and our road department came back to me and said, Pak Anies, I'm managing park. And our focus in choosing the right plantation, choosing the right landscape design. Where do I put equality into equation? Because that's not my focus. The same thing with the road department. We build road, but where is it? Why do we need to talk about equality? Because I'm building road. What's important is I make sure that the quality of road is there and always ready for repair if there is any problems. Well, my reply was this. Coba buka peta Jakarta. Let's open a map of Jakarta and identify all the parks. Is our parks in every corners of our city? No. Most parks is in the well-doing neighborhood, not in the less privileged neighborhood. Suddenly there is no park. Okay, so build park. So now if you go to Jakarta, so wherever you stand, within 900 meters, you will see a park. And I learned that here. Everywhere you go, there's park. You go to Chicago, anywhere you go, there is parks. Number two, change the concept of taman. Taman. In bahasa Indonesia, taman means two things, garden and park. What's the difference? Garden and park. In English, you have park, you have garden. Apa bedanya? Garden is for enjoyment, right?
Yeah.
Park is to play, right?
Yeah. Public space.
Public space. What happened is this, every taman di Jakarta is a garden.
Yeah.
Tahu tandanya apa?
Jangan rumput.
Ada tulisan dilarang menginjak rumput. So the grass is treated as the grass is treated as something to be enjoyed, not to play at. Untuk ditonton. You observe the grass, not you play at the grass. So don't step. So we remove all signs dilarang menginjak rumput in every park. Who needs park in a very populated city like Jakarta? It's the people who lives in high density kampung. They don't have a playground. If you look at neighborhood behind Gambir, very condensed, near Kuitang, very condensed. They go to Monas to play, and there is a big green field out there, a grass green field. But there is a sign, do not step on the grass. I can't play. The middle class have their own complex, and in the complex you can play, but the kampung. So my suggestions to planners is equality. Itu road department. Saya tanya begini, apa alat transportasi yang semua orang punya? Dan lo jawabnya apa? Motor. No, kaki. Pertanyaan, do you build enough sidewalks? Now if you go to Jakarta, you will see sidewalks everywhere. Equality, you need to provide infrastructure for every mode of transportation, including walking. Walking is part of it. So, kalau itu ada, you can do the rest. Ya. Rocky, terima kasih pertanyaannya Rocky. Pertama tentang Indonesia Muslimnya banyak, tapi nggak banyak ditemukan. Boleh ganti baterai. Indonesia Muslim banyak, tapi nggak ketemu banyak imam di sini. Kebanyakan sekolah-sekolah agama Islam di Indonesia membekali bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Arab, tapi tidak cukup membekali dengan bahasa non-Arab, terutama bahasa Inggris. Jadi kita jarang sekali ketemu seperti Imam Samsi Ali. Ya. Kemudian di Washington, di Seattle itu ada Imam Muhammad Joban. Itu sedikit. Nah, Samsi Ali, tahu kan ceritanya kenapa Samsi Ali sampai ke sini? Ya beliau dibawa oleh Pak Dubes, diundang ke New York, akhirnya mengajar di New York. Nah, kita perlu lebih banyak. Satu. Yang kedua, kebanyakan dari kita tidak menengok ke arah barat untuk orientasi sebagai pekerja agama. Padahal peluangnya banyak sekali, bukan? Dan di sini ada visanya, bukan? Ada visanya. Dulu ketika saya di Washington, pekerja agama bekerja jadi imam. Namanya Nasaruddin Umar. Sekarang dia jadi menteri agama. Dulu dia imamnya di masjid kita tuh di Washington. Nah, opportunity is there. Kalau boleh saya usul, Rocky, lebih banyak menanyakan, mensponsori, mengundang. Jadi, you have a concern, instead of articulating, let's start doing it. Jadi Rocky, di Chicago ada lebih dari 50 masjid mungkin di Chicago area itu. Rasanya masih sama seperti dulu. Jumlahnya banyak, walaupun grup-grup itu. Ada, cuma di Chicago itu yang segregasinya kuat sekali itu. Karena tiap-tiap masjid pakai bahasanya masing-masing kan. Nah, ini saya usul lebih banyak lagi undang. Di Indonesia sana ada beberapa tokoh-tokoh yang jelas bisa bantu. Ya, satu. Yang kedua, mungkinkah program-program yang populer itu tentu ada penyesuaian. Bisa penyesuaian. Saya pernah ngalamin begitu dengan KJP di Jakarta. Kartu Jakarta Pintar. Itu kartu Jakarta Pintar itu bukan kartu untuk pendidikan, itu kartu untuk bantuan makan, itu bantuan biaya pendidikan. Tapi itu nggak mungkin dihapus waktu itu. Tapi bisa lakukan penyesuaian. Nah, dalam kampanye selalu menantang. Karena selalu incumbent akan bilang, challenger akan menghapuskan program. The challenger will discontinue this program. It's everywhere. Tapi in reality, if you have enough ground troop to fight and counter attack that, it's workable. Jadi saya malah menduga, Bung Rocky, sebelum periode ini berakhir sudah akan ada penyesuaian. Kenapa? Ya uangnya nggak ada. Jadi penyesuaiannya bukan dikerjakan oleh contender of election next term. I think our economic situations will force government to make adjustment. Saya menduga begitu. Kemudian Zohran Mamdani, saya akan bilang bersyukur sekali Anda di negara yang tidak ada intervensi dari aparatnya. Ya, karena secanggih apapun kampanye, sesophisticated apapun kampanye, you can produce such a bright campaign, win the heart, but if the state is intervening through its officials, it's so hard to campaign against the state. Untung Trump tidak ikut campur. Coba kalau Trump pakai, ya dia juga ikut campur secara politik, tapi bukan menggunakan Jadi Amerika nggak bisa, ya nggak bisa aja gitu, akan ketahuan. Di sana bisa dikumpulin yang tadi saya ceritakan itu, dan tidak jadi keuntungan saya itu. Yang kedua, pada menurut we like to see more and more people able to convert pragmatic, skeptic young generations who view politics in a negative perspective. So when someone enter politics and attract young people, and young people have positive view, it help to improve the quality of our democracy. More and more young generations who are interested in assessing policy, discussing and debating about policies, and we need that. I think to do that, we need figures that is inviting. So in our campaign, when we did our campaign, we were so grateful because majority who come to our Desak Anies and our campaign were the young generation. And when the young generation is interested, for us it's already a victory because we are winning the future of Indonesia. Thank you.